It's like when you're sick, you gotta see the doctor, right? So if it's for the better, why not?
Life-threatening to some, but a joke to others. Cases of mental illness are beginning to increase as we often hear reports of people suffering from it in the news. Some even result in suicides. It is rising at an alarming state, but is still stigmatized in society. Therefore, we set out to find out more on mental illness and the reason why it is stigmatized. Get over it, it's nothing, you're just overthinking. A disease that causes mild to severe disturbances in thought and or behavior, mental illness causes the inability to cope with life's simple demands. Most people aren't ready to cope when they hear someone they know is suffering from a mental illness, especially when it results in the judgment of others. We met up with Dr. Gurdeep, a psychiatrist from the Mind faculty, to get more insight on the matter.
People are embarrassed to see psychiatrists, they don't want people to know, and sadly, organizations, so about corporate, are also not very supportive because it's not uncommon to hear of people who've seen a psychiatrist and as a result, the employer finds out and is turned down for promotions or some even get terminated simply by the stigma of seeing a psychiatrist.
Statistics have shown that 12.1% of children between the age of 5 and 15 have mental issues. In Malaysia, the National Morbidity Survey 2015 found out that 29.9% of the adult population have some form of mental illness.
Firstly, mental disorders exist in all cultures. Number two, mental disorders afflict children, adults, and elderly. More and more evidence is coming about to suggest that there are distinct abnormalities within the brain that explain why some people develop certain disorders. In regards to psychiatric illnesses in Malaysia, top on the list and the commonest one would probably be anxiety and depressive disorders.
Depression, like you have good stuff around you, but you are like in prison of your mind. You just cannot see the positive things. You're just negative and just keep sad.
We call it our stickiness to negativity is at least 5 times stronger than. So you have one bad thing and one good thing. Your good thing is weaker, stuck in a memory is 5 times weaker than a bad thing. So you remember bad thing much more than the good thing. So if we don't train ourselves to shift our focus to look at the good thing, our life will be very miserable.
Other common disorders that we're seeing now are probably psychiatric disorders related to drug use. And then there is psychotic disorders such as schizophrenia. But schizophrenia rates are very stable. It's a lifetime prevalence of 1%. That's stable. But 1% means that 1% of your population suffers from schizophrenia, which adds up to 300,000 people in this country. So when you look at the disease burden now, it becomes significant, right? Because schizophrenia is, for example, schizophrenia disorder that stays with you forever.
We met up with Ammar, a mental health activist who is diagnosed with schizophrenia.
I was depressed since I was 15, but I didn't know I was schizophrenic. So when I went to the hospital for my checkup and diagnosis, and the doctor was evaluating me and asking me a lot of questions, and I had to get up from the office. And I came back and he asked me, "You know what you have?" Like, I have depression. I said, "No, you have schizophrenia." What is schizophrenia? The symptoms of schizophrenia is that you have hallucinations, both visual and auditory. You have delusions, you have trouble sleeping, which is insomnia, and you also have very low mood, which is similar to depression.
Unfortunately, in Malaysia, mental health is heavily stigmatized. Instead of offering them comfort, they are shunned and isolated.
It is stigmatized in Malaysia, and I think a lot of South Asian countries are stigmatizing mental illness because of our culture. You know, we don't necessarily believe in modern medicine, modern science, so we resort to believe that if you hear things or you see things that it's about you being possessed by a demon or an entity, when it is proven by modern science that mental illness exists.
Not all would know how to deal with people that suffer from mental illness, but the least we could do is be there for them. A state-of-the-art private psychiatry center, the Mind faculty embraces the belief that everyone deserves to be happy. The Mind faculty offers intensive and compassionate care that will end the cold waiting rooms of psychiatrist hospitals. Understanding that every client is different, the Mind faculty tailors their treatment plan to the needs of the client. Exploring feelings with different art mediums, art therapy's purpose is to improve the sense of personal well-being.
Psychotherapy it's a method, it's a psychological method of helping people work on difficulties that they're facing.
Through art, the client not only explores their feelings but also reconciles emotional conflicts, fosters self-awareness, and manages behavior and addictions.
So art therapy, there are two terms. One is art therapy and the other is art psychotherapy. Okay? They're interchangeable, they mean the same thing. But what happens in psychotherapy, what happens in art psychotherapy is it's a psychological therapy just like any other psychological therapy, but it uses art as a mode and medium of communication because it's using a creative medium. So there is an opportunity for everyone to engage. So what I usually say is art therapy helps when there are not enough words or when words are not enough. Therapeutic relationship between therapist and client is this two-way relationship. Now we have art. So now we have a triangular relationship, okay? And this triangular relationship, it's bringing art in as an equal member, in that therapeutic alliance.
Let us rise above this and not leave anybody behind, because everybody deserves to express themselves and be heard.
People are available to help, and they're never alone in this world.
The prevalence in your age group is on the rise. Your generation has an opportunity to destigmatize this once and for all.
In the words of Dr. Gurdeep, our generation has the potential to overturn the stigma, for our age group's prevalence is high. In this day of age, we have the learning tools and mediums to be knowledgeable of this issue. Most importantly, we have the power to alter the future generation's perceptions on mental health.